We're live now. Now, obviously, we're with Stuart. We're not with Matt. The pleasures of going live. We have technical problems. It is what it is. But today's episode or show, we've got some major FOMO here. We're actually going to be talking about space stations, the whole ecosystem of Starship, which involves the token, KYANITE, play to earn NFTs, Metaverse. And it all actually really surrounds itself within these space stations, right? So we're going to get into that. We're going to find out who has space stations, what they're about. And I keep hearing that BeyondFOMO is getting a space station. So we're going to talk about that too. I'm actually really excited for this. So as always, I'm going to hit everybody with the disclaimer. Then we'll be right back. And let's get into the FOMO material, the true FOMO right here. This is some good stuff. Be right back. All right, Stuart. So
how we doing?
One thing I might also just say is, since Matt's not here, we might be able to talk about the token pricing. We might. We might be able to do something like that. We'll see.
I'm sure we can, as long as we get it in there where it's non-financial advice. I'm sure we'll be able to talk about the tokens. I love the little disclaimer that you've got up there. Tells everyone, where we all stand.
I'm seeing some interesting numbers with the Starship token. It's kind of like teetering. And I feel like you guys are like at that resistance point, and we'll get into it. But I feel like you're right at that moment that once it pops, all those people that kept saying it's going to go down, all these footers that I see in the group, it's gone. They're going to miss out.
Yeah. I'm convinced we're on the cusp of greatness. I've been saying it for a long time. I see everything that goes on, and I'm convinced we are on the cusp of greatness. It's only amazing things happening for Starship.
I believe you. And that's also why I'm here and a big supporter of you guys. Just to reiterate, for those that are in the group, we want to see comments. Ask us live questions. We're live, so we're going to answer them for you. And if we don't have the answers, we'll get them for you. The last live episode that we had, Stuart, you basically said there was let's just say it was a concerned investor, which is good, right? They're doing their own due diligence. They're asking questions.
Yeah.
And we said, join us in a live chat. Come to the Deploy Starship, join our Telegram. I will answer your questions.
Yeah.
Where else do you see that in crypto space? You don't.
No.
You don't see it.
No, nobody hides from anything. If anyone's got any questions, someone will be there to answer, whether it be myself, Matthew, Ashley, Grandpa, Saint, one of the many other people. There's probably 40 or 50 people that will answer questions. If they don't know the answer, they certainly know where to go for the answer. No one from Starship will hide from any single question. Sometimes they're silly questions, but there's no such thing as a stupid question if you don't know the answer. So please ask. If you don't know, ask.
The only answers we might not have are the when Moon and when Lambo type questions, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Those are a little bit difficult to answer.
Yeah.
So we'll say soon. All right, space stations. Before we get into the technical side of it and kind of explaining what they are, right, what they do, who it's for, there's some big names behind this, right? And I feel like there's people that are part of Starship from the beginning that are still here, and then there's people that are just joining the community, and they might not be aware as to the powerhouse that you guys have like in the back end. So we've got a few space stations that are launched, but I'll go through the list. So we've got All K-Pop, right? So that's one. So that's a huge website, lots of followers for ads exposure. Grandpa's got his own, so Grandpa Galactic. And now we got Pluto Alliance. So this is a huge NFT community, right? So they're out there. Then we got this guy, Ben, so BitBoy. I mean, he literally has his own space station. Crypto Stash. We always see them kind of side by side. They're usually like a collaboration. So he has his own space station. Then we have a Thai station, 3 Meta Mayhem, and of course Funky Monkey, who we had live before. And then of course BeyondFOMO coming soon.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is these names, these are big influencers. and they all have their own communities, right? So for me, I haven't yet really seen them pushing Starship or their space stations yet, but there has to be a time and place for this, right? I mean, you guys are, again, you're working on building up the platform, you're kind of getting it ready.
Yeah. Well, I don't know whether if, personally, whether you've seen all the new updates that Grandpa and the Wax developers been working on. They've been working their backsides off to try to get everything sorted out. And it's a world apart from where we were sort of 4 weeks ago to where we are now. It's almost like a different game. They're absolutely amazing. We will be pushing space station owners now to be marketing. The KYANITE price has been rising slightly, so it's only going well. We onboarded about 2,500 players probably within a week or something like that. So I think we're up to around 7,500 players now. So everything is definitely moving in the right direction. It's everything could always be quicker, but I think we're doing it at a nice steady pace. I think it seems to be going real nice. We don't seem to have too many problems with sort of little game bugs and things like that. Today there was an issue with Wax, so people were unable to join, but that's nothing that we can do anything about. But I think from a Starship development perspective, I think we're pretty much there with all the bugs. There may be a few little ones here and there, or ones that haven't been found yet, but we're pretty much on top of everything. Grandpa is amazing. Actually, I can't say that. I can't tell him that. Oh, you're rubbish.
Well, where we're at with these space stations, from my point, at least from like a marketer standpoint, I'm just being blunt, and I wish Matt was still here because you guys know how I am. Like, you guys just haven't really put out the marketing push yet. Like, it just hasn't happened yet. You guys are you're being patient. You're building up the whole support end. You're kind of getting ready for this.
Yeah.
And this list. So I mean, I could add this to the description, but these are top influencers. You guys have huge communities that are literally ready to just like run with it.
Yeah, and they've all got contracts to varying degrees. So many of them are contracted to do marketing work, but at the time, sort of up until very recently, there was no point us getting these big influencers to market to their huge communities for them to come and play a game where all they're going to do is go to Discord, open tickets, and they're going to have a problem to be able to get into the game. So I totally understand everyone's frustration at marketing, but looking at it from an inside perspective, it's the right thing to do. To ensure that the game is right, to ensure that we're in the direction that we want to go, to ensure that everything is right, the update is done, the updates are pushed out, everything is being tested. It's the right thing to do, Jason. And as soon as we're going to start rolling out space stations, sort of 2 or 3 a week. So things are going to start moving real quick.
Well, let's get into the space stations. So Starship itself, as I mentioned when we first started, it really is a full ecosystem. And I mean that. And you guys can go onto the website, you're doing your own due diligence, you're researching it. You have literally everything with blockchain technology. You really have it all. So you have the token, you have the gas component. So the token is Starship. You have the gas component of the Starship or space stations, which is then the KYANITE, which people are mining and using for gas.
Yeah.
But then you actually get into the NFT aspect as well. So you're equipping, you're building your fleets, and you're using these NFTs with different rarities to build out your fleet. But the space station itself is also an NFT.
Yeah.
This isn't something, right, that you could just create out of nowhere. It is an NFT.
Yeah.
So for those that are in the whole NFT space and collecting, and I'm trying to build this up here, but there's only going to be 100 of them.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah.
So, I mean, I always see these NFT projects with like 1,000 NFTs, 5,000, 10,000 space stations. There's only going to be 100 of them.
Yeah.
And if you're rolling out 3 a week, I mean, if that's the plan, I mean, they're going to be out.
Yes, it won't take long. It won't take long. We may eventually go down to sort of 2 a week. So me saying 3 a week is probably not going to be guaranteed for 3 a week every week, but that is going to be the plan. Definitely
Well,
for short
ultimately, what
term.
I'm getting at though is, I mean, it's 100 of them. That's not a lot. That's all.
No, no,
We
no.
all count to. That's that's like
Yeah,
nothing really.
no,
So in
and you're
terms of a
right.
collector's piece, this is pretty damn rare.
Yeah. Also, there's 100 space stations, 10,000 planets to each space station, so that's a total of 1 million planets. If we can get 1 million people playing, that's basically one planet each, and people will be mining all day long, making a fortune from the game. Because although I think it does have the scope to be able to move on from the 1 million planets. 1 million planets, 1 million players. I think that will be there or thereabouts, right? As it moves on, obviously everything will be evaluated, and we'll do what's right for the game. But at present, all those numbers seem to be the right numbers for where we need to be at, and achieving the goals that we've set ourselves.
Well, as an investor, and if you're in this crypto space, especially with these NFTs, numbers and data, the information you have access to, that's highly important. So I just want to again reiterate: there's only 100 space stations ever, and just as you said, within each space station, there's 10,000 planets, right? So you could do the math on all that. But there's also another component to this, which I kind of like, and this is the gamification of the space stations, and that is the hidden BTC. So 50,000 of Bitcoin is just, it's out there. It's literally like in space. It's in this whole ecosystem, and it's all random, right? This isn't pre-programmed. It's all randomized based on transactions.
Yeah, nobody's going to know where it is. It's just as much chance as somebody with 3 common NFTs and a bunch of uncommon ships. They've got as much chance as I have of finding them or you have of finding them. It's got nothing to do with the NFT rarities. It's got nothing to do with StarShip holdings. It's literally 100% luck of the draw. And it's beautiful. $50,000 in Bitcoin. Yeah, for playing the game. So you have fun, you earn money, you can earn 50 grand in Bitcoin. Wow.
So that information that is also in, because I just see somebody in a chat asking for it. That's in the actual guide too, right?
Yep, it's in the GDD.
Yeah.
So the GDD is being updated at the moment, but it's pretty much going to stay the same as what it was in respect of information, the amount of planets and so on. There are going to be some changes in there, but if anyone wants to read the GDD, it's still fairly accurate. When the new GDD is released, that will get put everywhere, so everyone can sort of familiarise themselves with the new GDD. But it is almost going to be the same. I don't think there's going to be huge differences in there.
Yep. Yeah. Well, so I mean, the GDD, you can see it's constantly being updated, but this is where all the math and the real technical stuff kind of comes into play. So the real gamers that want to understand how this whole system works, I highly advise to go in there and read into it to then further understand how to best leverage your ships and to get out there and start earning this KYANITE and other, because now you can merge NFTs. So there's like a whole other component to that. We're supposed to be talking about the space stations, but there's a lot more to this game than just going out there and then mining KYANITE, right?
Yeah. It's so strategic that you really have to put a brain on to be able to fully understand the whole process. Now, anyone can just start the game and go out and start mining without a great deal of problem. To be able to properly fulfill and to maximize everything, look at what your NFTs are, look at what your components are, look at what your maximum parsecs are, look what the distances your ships can go, and just really maximize everything that you've got. And exactly like Jason said, all the information is there, so you can get, the absolute pinnacle of everything that you've got to maximize all of your NFTs and the ships that you've got. It's great. You know, it is for the people that just sit there and love to crunch numbers. StarShip NFT game is amazing because you can spend hours.
Yeah.
You can literally spend hours and hours and hours just analyzing numbers.
Yeah, we've also had we've seen plenty of community members also help with the numbers too, right?
Yeah.
This is all something that's brand new. It's always being updated, changed. There's a whole bunch of different algorithms. You change one number, and that kind of changes everything. So
yeah.
there's a lot of math involved with this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really recommend anyone that hasn't read the GDD, read it, but read it 2 or 3 times, you know, because it's easy to just whip through it and you may get 60-70% of it, but you read it again and then you read it again, and each and every time you'll come out a little bit wiser. And sure. I can't recommend it enough. You know, just to keep reading it. You know, the more you understand, the more you know, the better you'll be. Knowledge is power. In any walk of life, knowledge is power.
I agree. There's also, I'll just say it, there's some communities out there that found some interesting cheat codes. Not cheat codes per se, but ways to leverage the game. I'll say that. They're out there. So do your research on that.
Yeah.
All right. Space stations, though. Let's get back to this.
Yeah.
Honestly, who is a space station for? Let's just say that. Who do you believe space stations are for? Can your typical, just your average NFT collector buy one? I mean, is this open for anybody, or do you guys have like a strategy for this?
Anyone is able to buy a space station. They're more directed towards influencers because they come ready-made with their own communities. When they come with their own communities, the 5% that they get from all of the sales that go through their space station, they get 5% of all of the KYANITE that goes through their space station. So it's really beneficial to have you know, fairly big communities. Then we've got somebody like Grandpa. Grandpa doesn't have his own community, or he does. He has StarShip community. But if anyone looks at what Grandpa does, he does various planet competitions, various planet giveaways, various NFT giveaways. He goes into all of the other communities and informs other communities of his giveaways. You know, he's really cornered the market for an individual to be able to utilize other people's communities without sort of trying to step on their toes and things like that. So although they are sort of geared more towards communities with the right attitude and the right input and the right dedication, a space station is good for everyone. But it will come with hard work. You know, it's not something that you can buy, put your space station up, walk away from, and it's going to earn you a boatload of money. You know, you do need to put work into it.
Yeah. Well, I think an interesting use case for these space stations will be mine. So the BeyondFOMO space station. I mean, I love the support that your community has provided me. You know, you guys are always helping me out, helping me grow collaborations, partnerships. You know, you don't just start with a huge community. It just doesn't work that way. So what I would like to do is continue to leverage the space station and get obviously more StarShip people involved and have my own contests, tournaments, right? You get more involved and collectively keep growing. You know, all tides rise up and have some fun with it. That's also the whole reason behind the game, to actually have fun, right? I think we all forgot about that component to it. So to have competitions, tournaments, that's the stuff that I would definitely love to bring within my own space station. Sorry
to jump in on you, but there is a space station owner, one of the Meta Mayhems. They're going to start having quiz nights, you know, so for various different space stations. So we'll basically pit space station against space station for competitions, you know, and just try to be the best space station. There's already some financial competition between others of, you know, we'll get more players than you, we'll do more giveaways and so on and so on. And that's good, you know, that they're that dedicated to it, that all they want to do is they want their station to be number one. It's brilliant. You know, that's win-win for everyone. Yeah, the first trivia night is next week on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I will actually also be there. Yeah, I'll be there, just to embarrass myself. All right, so these space stations, let's just break it down real quick. There's 100 of them all together. You're not making any more. 10,000 planets each. 50,000 worth of BTCs floating around. It's not specific to space stations. It's fully randomized.
And space stations are for people aside from influencers, but those that want to see the further growth and engagement of StarShip. That's what it's about. It's about the community and growing. Now, there is another side to these space stations, though. This is another side to it. This is a good side. So space station owners actually receive 5% of all mining activities within their space station. So there's like a revenue generating aspect of this, right? So it's more of an enticement and action oriented to get people within your space station. So yes, you can actually generate money aside from just owning an NFT. Again, just to have 1 out of 100, I think that's pretty freaking good odds right there. It's a pretty good investment. Now, what's cool though is these space stations, they're uniquely designed as well. So this isn't something like, you buy a space station and here you go, right? You guys are asking for like logos, color schemes, designs, and you create it for us, right?
Yeah.
So there's more involvement to it.
It basically will get like the BeyondFOMO logo. We'll get some color schemes. We'll get some other graphics that you like. We get them to our artist. The artist will then create a space station. It will come back to yourself, for approval. See whether there's any little changes that you want, anything that you're maybe not quite happy with, or some, just small little tweaks here and there, and basically go from there. It has changed slightly from the original concepts of the StarShip designs, but it's more efficient now and it's more streamlined to be able to get the space stations out in an appropriate time. They still look as good, and yeah, it's basically just sort of trying to streamline everything to get everything more efficient, and just to get everything online.
Originally. So the color scheme with BeyondFOMO was like the black and green. So we were thinking about like kryptonite, right? Like, that cool glow effect. But I changed it. So now, and my favorite planet out of all of them is the crystal planet. And everybody that knows that you want the crystal planet. That's like the rarest out of them all. You get the most KYANITE from that. But interesting color scheme with that. Those colors are matching with my brand. So I might want a BeyondFOMO crystal-like space station. I'm liking that.
So what's that you're saying? When you get your space station, you're going to first do a crystal planet giveaway. That's really nice of you, Jason.
I'll do that. Why not?
I'll throw it out there.
I'll do a couple of those. Yeah. I like it. I'm actually just pulling it up. Honestly, I'm also surprised. I'm on Atomic Hub. I'm looking at the prices, and I'm like, this is kind of crazy that they're even this low.
Yeah.
For those that actually understand the game, that's you want the crystal planet. That's all I'm gonna say. And I think there's some strategy. Obviously, some people want to, in terms of like distance and then going out, but that's what the GDD is also for, to understand the gaming aspect of it. You got to research it.
Sorry again, butting on you. In Atomic Hub, since we've had like Meta Mayhem and a few other space stations released, a lot of the secondary market prices have risen quite a lot. So there was some Pluto Alliance packs, some NFT packs that were going for about sort of $20-$30. They shot up to about $50 a pack.
Okay.
So the secondary market is moving quite well, and that's directly affected by the amount of new players that we've had, because obviously they take up NFTs, they take up packs and so on, and it just pushes the prices up. So everything's going in the right direction, and the more space stations we release, the more NFTs they're going to need, which is going to just keep pushing the secondary market up, which is
supply and demand. It's always the best way to go. You just have to understand basic economics. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Space stations, though. Future releases. I got this from Matt. All right. And I know he's not on here, and maybe I could pressure you into giving us some more info on this. But future releases. So staking for stations. I don't know what that means. I just see staking for stations.
No.
Be careful with what you say. Also, I don't want to get you in trouble. We all love you. The comments, we're all loving at you here. Just be careful. But that's
one I don't know about.
So future staking for stations. That's something.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we've got something with a chemist, librarian, ship rental docks, marketplace, obviously chat features. That's always a good thing to have. But that's the list that I was given. I was given that list. So
well,
you may not have to expand on it, but that's sounding like some big stuff. I'm liking that.
Yeah, I can't elaborate on that a great deal, if I'm honest.
So guys, I'm trying here. All right, but the idea behind this though is I like the fact that the space station itself is the NFT, which can be further built on, right? So that could always be further improved, as well as like the actual gameplay, which you guys are doing. But I think I've actually seen this from like day one. Ship rentals. I think that's an amazing idea. Like you actually build out your fleet and then rent it out, right? So you get like a portion of the KYANITE earned by other people. That in itself is an awesome idea.
Yeah, the exact process is not quite known at the moment. So
Oh, you know it. You're just not telling us.
Yeah, well, I can't sit here and go into the process of everything, because if things change, I'll get called out for it, rightfully so. So it's easier to say, yeah, ship rental is on the horizon. It is something that's massively being looked into. It's not going to be like a scholarship program, but it's kind of going along those kind of lines. And I think that's probably where I'll have to leave that.
Okay. Chat features, that's obvious. I mean, that's something that I would love to see. Yeah. I myself, I'm going to do some research into the space station. Maybe we could build like an API, but I'm curious to know about like the data and information per each space station, so that we could have data-oriented competitions, right? I think that's cool to see how many players on each space station, how much KYANITE was earned on like a 24-hour time period.
Yeah.
How much gas was used, all that cool like data. I like that. So once you start getting that out, I think that will also attract more people, right?
Yeah.
Then I can say, hey, the BeyondFOMO space station, if we're able to generate X amount, give it all away. let's beat everybody else, do a big giveaway. That's it.
Who doesn't like bragging rights? It's great for everyone. And the great thing with blockchain is everything's there, everything's visible, nothing can be hidden, nothing can be manipulated. So any information anybody wants, go and have a look on the blockchain. And it's exactly like you said. We'll be able to have competitions for KYANITE, 24-hour volume, NFT sales. Pretty much anything and everything. And that's all thanks to the technology of blockchain.
I agree. All right. Usually we have Matt on, so we can't always talk about the tokens, right? But StarShip itself, well, I can elaborate on it. As far as you want to go into it, that's all right. But StarShip token, you guys literally have been teetering at like 30 cents. It's literally just, it's been there like the entire time.
Yeah.
And I've been noticing in the StarShip group itself that I'll be blunt about it. You guys have like these fudders that are in your group. Like people are just putting out FUD constantly, right? I even just saw it before. There's a buy order of like $12,000, and somebody responded saying like that was a bad decision.
Yeah.
But what I want to get at is I feel like when you look at the time frame of everything, right? You put everything out, you expand on the actual chart, and you have people that have been accumulating. And then eventually they do get tired. They don't want to be waiting. They don't want to, or they want to look for other investments. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But a lot of this sell pressure, it's ongoing. And that's kind of why we are where we are. And that applies also to KYANITE. But as you mentioned, as we bring on more of these space stations, as more marketing actually starts, it's the new players. Yeah. New players are the ones that bring this whole new life to it. And I want to make sure the community respects that and understands that and is welcoming to that. You guys have to be like, yeah, this is freaking awesome. Get on this, check out KYANITE, learn about this. We're here to help, instead of being like FUD and all this other stuff.
Yeah, and exactly like you said, we do get various people come into chats and through not willing to educate themselves, not willing to look. They'll just come into the chat and ask questions, and if it doesn't fit their narrative, then it's it's all doom and gloom. The people that really want to educate themselves, really want to look into the project, you've only got to look at Starship for under 2 minutes, and you'll know that it's worth your research. Anyone that spends half an hour to an hour doing research on Starship, will fall in love with Starship. In my head, that's fact. There's going to be people that are going to disagree with me, but also in Telegram, I'm loath to ban people. I really, really hate banning people. I will, if it comes to it, I will ban people.
Yeah.
But I'm loath to do it.
Deliberate people out there. Yeah, you know who those are.
There are some people, there's nothing you can do. Some people you have to ban. But what I try to do above anything is try to educate people, try to give people the information that they need, try to alleviate any stresses and concerns that they have. And I can do that via voice chats. Exactly like you said at the beginning of the show, the second somebody's got any concerns, my first response is jump into a voice chat. Come into a voice chat. I'll have a chat with you. Any concerns you've got, I'll explain to you. If I can't explain to you, I will get you the answers. I will put you in into contact with the people that can give you the right answers. The whole team is doxed. If they're not publicly doxed, they're internally doxed. No one's going anywhere. It is in crypto space. I would say Starship is a safer bet as you're going to find. There is no safe bet. So, and that's not what I'm trying to say. But Starship's
99.9% there. You filled all the little parts.
Yeah.
But it's also one thing to emphasize: Starship isn't just the BSC token, which unfortunately 99% of these 6,000-7,000 projects are just a token, right? Sure, some of them have a utility use case, but you guys have the token, your own exchange, which is a whole nother thing, right? CEXY.Finance, that's a whole nother monster. But the ecosystem involves multiple tokens, NFTs, a true game. There's a lot more to it. So you're right. Once people start looking into it, understanding what this is about, they should have that like aha moment to be like,
yeah,
let's do it.
And the only way you'll do that is by research. There's never a true statement of do your own research. Don't ever listen to what one person says. One person has got their own agenda. Listen to what various people have got to say. Do your own research. Look into things. Check again. If you're not comfortable, don't buy it. That goes for Starship. That goes for anywhere. If you're not comfortable, don't buy it. Do more research. And yeah, like I said, do an hour's research on Starship and you'll fall in love with us.
What I will say is for those that like to do their own research, I'll just put this out there. Check out. So Wax is kind of iffy when it comes down to like the block explorer, right? Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, all these other ones, they have their nice explorer. It's easy to read. So Starship token, go to the explorer and see like the recent sales, all that kind of stuff. And you'll get an idea as to maybe some suppression. I'll just say that. Yeah. And on Wax with KYANITE, because I keep seeing people always asking about like the price of KYANITE, you can see the portion of, you could see the holders, right? So you can see like a pie graph, you could see stats on that. And you could see that there are like huge like sell-offs, or there's people keeping the price down. That's short term. I mean, again, there's going to be a moment when all these new players start to come on, and that's not going to be this low again. I know you guys used to have a command within the Starship group to check the price or the market cap for KYANITE.
Yeah.
I tried to do it last time, and I don't think it worked last time either. But it's like extremely low. We're talking about like in the hundreds of thousands for the market cap.
Yeah.
Something like ridiculously low.
Yeah. I was in the pre-sale of KYANITE, and obviously I play the game. I have not sold one item of KYANITE. Now, I am convinced KYANITE is going to go to a decent amount. I'm not going to give a price prediction because I'll get held to it. But
I'll say there's plenty of people saying $1. I'll put it out there.
All right. I was going to say $1. I was going to go with $1.
I'll put it out there. Yeah. My financial advice: KYANITE to $1.
But Jason said it, and I'm just agreeing. So don't blame me, blame him.
And by the way, that market cap at $1 is way less than Axie Infinity and all these other games. So it all comes down to math and understanding, like the market cap size. It's way less than that. So it's possible.
Yeah. And exactly like you said, $1 for KYANITE, despite that sounds, outrageous at the price we're at the moment, it really, really isn't. It's such a fairly simple target to achieve when everything starts going right. When we start getting the marketing for the space stations, we start getting more influencers, we get more space stations out, we've got more people involved.
Let me just say one thing. I'm sorry for cutting you off. And this is for everybody else that's paying attention. And we're towards like the end of all this too. So we'll put some of this FOMO stuff like at the end. I'll leave it here. Just one question I have for you, and then for everybody that's watching this. What is KYANITE for? Just so Stuart, you and me. What is KYANITE for? What does KYANITE do? Why do you need KYANITE?
KYANITE today, KYANITE is for the fuel for your starships.
Done. Stop. So just say that again. What is KYANITE for?
The fuel for your starships.
That's all you need to say. Think about it. We just said there's 100 of these space stations. Influencers are joining. They're getting on space station. Communities are growing. They're all coming here. And everybody is buying these NFTs to equip their ships to then go out to these planets. But you need KYANITE as gas to do that. You have to have KYANITE to go to stations, to these planets. So if you have millions of players, or you have even thousands of players, which you're kind of like at, it's kind of like changing because of the crypto space, but for the markets, once all these players start actually getting more involved, you need gas to move, just like your car. And as we see with gas stations now, the price keeps going up. It's the same thing. It's not that hard to really think about. KYANITE is the actual true gem of this whole platform. It really is.
Yeah. And, people just see the low value of it and think, oh, okay, when KYANITE price, what's happening to KYANITE? The utilities that will come for KYANITE, which will only increase. But exactly like you just said, it's the fuel. Each and every starship needs KYANITE. We don't have any electronic ones. We don't have any, biofuels or anything like that. Every single one runs on KYANITE, and everyone has to have KYANITE to use it.
It's so funny. Well, I think even so I could give we could have some additional FOMO towards the end of this, but so the GDD, right? Where is it? Let me see if I could pull this up. There's like for those so we put the link is in the comments. I added that. We want people to go through. We want them to read it. Let's just say that there's an Easter egg in there that talks about KYANITE and why it's so important. It's literally like there. I don't think you guys have changed like the text or the words behind it. But for those that are paying attention, KYANITE is that's like the gold, and that's the whole thing right there.
Yeah.
It's at the lowest price it's ever going to be. That's the funniest part.
What kind of amuses me is it's almost the most important but most underrated conversation that's ever had is KYANITE.
I'm trying to see if you guys actually changed the sentence or not, but it's in there. It's in the GDD, and I don't think it was bolded. I think it was like one of those random sentences you just put in there, like one of those things. So for those that go into it and actually read through it, that's a really good surprise, and that should be part of your due diligence and understanding as to why you're going to want to have KYANITE. And actually, so more importantly on that note, I do want to put this out there because I've seen this happen multiple times. Stuart, there's a lot of people searching for KYANITE on CoinGecko, and it's not there. That's like a whole different token. Don't get that one. That's not the right one.
Yeah.
So the one that we're talking about is on Wax blockchain, and that's on Alcor exchange.
Yep, Alcor, yep.
Yeah, so that KYANITE is on CoinMarketCap, just that's not on CoinGecko right now.
Yeah.
We see people buying the other token. That's not the right one.
The great thing is, and possibly an easy way to remember to ensure that you're getting the right one, is your wax address will get you into the game, will get you into Atomic Hub, and it will get you to buy KYANITE. So Alcor, you can use your wax wallet address. Atomic Hub, you can use your wax wallet address. And waxwallet.io, use your wax wallet address. So you need one address, but it will get you the KYANITE, the NFTs, and into the game. So if you're going anywhere else other than using your wax wallet address, you're not getting the right KYANITE token.
Yeah, it's not the right one. We need to get you on CoinGecko. I think you guys applied for that like months ago. You need to get their ass update this.
Yeah. I don't know what the story is there. I really don't. It's
time.
becoming a little frustrating, if I'm honest.
Yep. All right. Do you want to take some questions? Do you want to go through the comments?
Yeah, we'll go through the comments.
I'm always
game.
chatty today. Just unfortunately, we want to get a lot of data and information about the space stations out there.
What I'll do is after this, I'll open voice chat in Starship Telegram again. So if there are anyone that's got any questions, feel free to jump in and answer and ask me. If you want to go through some of these questions, we can
go through
we can do that.
3 or 5 of them. So we'll time it for like another 9 minutes or so. That'll bring us to like the tippy top.
Yeah, the best one I like is right at the bottom. It says Matt looks slimmer. No, Matt looks slimmer and better looking.
You didn't see the dress comment?
That's what needed to be put on there.
You didn't see the dress comment? All right, Greg actually asked, can you explain the benefits of purchasing planets? So there's so many, there's more coming. And we said that there's 10,000 per space station, right? So we're always introducing more. So what is the ROI, so return on investment for the investor purchasing this type of NFT?
The return on investment, the numbers have been changed.
That number, by the way, so I do want to say that there's like an algorithm to that. Like you guys do have some placed in there where the planet is like 3 times or can earn 3 times as the amount of purchase, which always changes.
There's various sales on at the moment. Sorry, not various sales. We've had different prices of different planets. So we started at 5 times the price and we got down to 3 times the price. So you over the last week, 10 days or so, you've been able to buy planets at a reduced rate. The return on investment is, I believe it's going to be around 45 days. Please don't quote me on that. When the new GDD comes out, all of that information will be on there. The old GDD will tell you what it is as we stand now. The new GDD will tell you as it stands in a few days' time. So it's going to be a little iffy on information because the new GDD is where all the most up-to-date and current, the correct information is.
Okay. Question about the BTC, so like the 50,000 that's out there, that has nothing to do with like how many space stations are out there. Like
none.
It's literally just randomized. So
yes,
like, as you said, somebody that just started playing the game from day one could win it, right? It's random.
I believe it gets added at phase 3. So essentially, when we come out with beta stage and go into sort of full release, then it will be the Bitcoin is released. As anyone that plays the game will already know, as you're mining on the planet, you're kind of stripping away one layer at a time. The BTC will be hidden on one of those layers. So it may be the top layer, it may be the bottom layer before a reward pool gets renewed. Nobody's going to know where that is. It's going to be an algorithm which hides it. So it's not going to be Stuart has said, oh yeah, it's going to BeyondFOMO station, it's going to planet 63 or anything like that. No, literally nobody is going to know where that's going to be hidden. And that's the best way. Nobody wants to be accused or fingers pointed. So if nobody knows, no fingers can be pointed.
No, you don't want that. You don't want any internal stuff either. It has to be pure chance, basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You imagine if Matthew wins.
Yeah, right.
No, but to be fair,
he's out there. He's out there mining. He said that he's out there collecting as much KYANITE as he can.
Yeah.
Somebody did mention, and since Matt's not on the show, maybe I'll answer this question for them. So Brian had mentioned that a lot of us, I'll use that as a quote, need a 15 to 20x to break even. Now, I'll say that I'm pretty good at math, but I mean, StarShip at 30 cents, all-time high, $6. If you got at the top, I get it. But that was like a blip, right? That like went by fast. Yeah. So it's unfortunately, yeah, it's the market, right? I mean, we went through that, another crypto winter per se. A lot of stuff happened politically, which we don't have to get into. But I think everything's coming back. It's all about patience. It's a waiting game. And it kind of also goes back to being inviting for new community members. So I can't stress that enough. I see this across all projects. If you have someone that joins StarShip, they're in their Telegram, Discord, Twitter, right? They're paying attention, they're doing their research, and you have a group crying or complaining about the price and all this other stuff, like ask yourself, would you invest in this project? Like be positive. Like they're working on stuff, they're growing, they're doing the right thing. You just, again, it's the whole market. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But you want to be positive. These new people coming in, they're not going to want to join something where people are constantly complaining or that the price is down. We need 20x, all that.
Yeah.
DCA, get more.
I got some of my best friends in at $5. I got some in at sort of under 30 cents. I got some in at over $5. And I get the same phone calls and the same concerns that anyone in Telegram is getting. And my answer is the same each and every time. I don't have any huge concerns. I remember specifically, how we got to just over $6. There was someone who done approximately like a $200,000 buy-in, which pushed the price to well over $6. And then basically it just started dumping. And yeah, we are where we are.
Yeah, but honestly, again, if you look at the chart, you'll say dumping. Look at the chart, and all that occurs in November. Go look at all the other altcoins and look at the chart in November. It's the same thing. So don't just apply this to StarShip. The same thing applies. It all literally just goes downhill from there, especially into December and January. It's across the board. This isn't specific to StarShip.
Also, if you look at what our market capital is, we're 10% of our market capital is in BNB, and that's a good value, for a token the size of ours. Having 10% of our market cap in BNB is astounding. Any of the major tokens, you look at Bitcoin, you look at BNB, you look at the whole history of their charts, it basically looks very similar to what StarShip's is. It goes up, it goes down, it goes sideways for a long time, and then it goes up. And quite a few of successful tokens have been like that, because you get people that buy in at the pre-sale, they make their money, they want to take their profit, they start selling, that tanks the price. Then you get people that are buying in because they believe in the project and they want to hold the project, and then we get the sideways action, and we get like the little rises and the little dips, and then we start releasing our projects and products, and then we'll start getting the upwards motion. Then we had some internal issues, and the market crashed, which has put us to where we are. We've now bettered ourselves. We've got even more products. The products that we've got are better. When we do start going, which is very, very soon, it's only good things. It is only good things.
Yep. All right. So one of the last comments, I'm just going to go back to Brian again, because I just hear we didn't ask for excuses. We're not giving you excuses, but just seeing. So the one other last part is curious. What is the early benefit? So if your average or break even is 20x plus, you've got it for a reason. That's all I'm going to say. And if it's that much lower, it's either you get more or you don't. It's not that hard to explain. There's no excuses being made. We're actually telling you facts as to what happened, and we're pointing it out to you. So early makes sense. You're early, you're getting at a lower price, everything's working out, it's going to grow up. I don't know how to explain that one to you.
And I'm not going to sit here and do the maths, because I'm not able to. But if you look at, if anyone looks at the amount of tokens that we've got, and then work the from the amount of tokens we've got, you can work out how much market capital we need to be able to get to certain milestones. And to get to certain milestones, the market capital is not huge amounts of money.
Sure.
Like I said, I'm not going to go into it because I'll probably get it all wrong, but I know various people have, and it's mind blowing to how small the market capital is to get to, you know, to $10, $50 and things like that, you know. So when people say these numbers, it sounds bizarre and it sounds, you know, completely far-fetched. It really, really isn't, because, well, yeah, it's not, because of the market capital and the amount of tokens that we've got.
But what it sounds like I need to do is just, I'll have another exclusive video about StarShip. And I guess I have to explain why this is a gem opportunity for people to actually understand it. And I will go through the numbers then. But yeah, so hey, I'll go back to what I said before. You believed in it at $6, $5, it's at 30 cents. You either believe in it or you don't. That's all I really have to say about that one for now.
Yeah.
All right, Stuart, it's about 50 minutes. Again, we went a little bit over, and unfortunately, again, Matt couldn't join us, so no leaks on that side, but I did provide some information. That was provided to me, so we don't have to expand on it. That's fine. Thank you, though, for joining us. Again, as you had said, if anybody has questions, go into the StarShip Telegram group.
Yep.
They're all there. They're there to answer any of the questions you might have. They're there.
Yeah.
And keep asking them here. We'll come back. We'll answer them as well. So this is a weekly thing. This is for the community. Think about it. I mean, that's part of your early questions is, you know, we're here talking to you and answering questions.
Yeah.
Go look at other projects and see if they even do half of this stuff. That's all you got to say.
Yeah. And that's it. Just putting your face there, putting your name there. You know, you've got your name, you've got your face, you've got your business, my face, my name. Any of the YouTube videos have been on, my face, my name. You know, nobody hides. You know, questions are there to be asked and questions are there to be answered. You know, feel free. You know, I tell my children.
I'm telling you, I think 30 cents is that next break point. When that happens, once everything starts coming, it's not going to be there for long.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know whether you've seen it or not, but me and Crypto Slaughter, and I'm going to stitch myself up now, and I should have shut up. I've got a bet.
We're going to let him run for this. Let's see. I'm going to give him like 10 more seconds to get it out.
At $1, me and Crypto Slaughter are going to wear a black dress, and we're going to take photos, and we're going to put it on StarShip Telegram. So don't get us to $1. Keep us at about 95 cents, please.
We'll leave it at that then. That's actually an interesting ending to have. We're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right, Stuart, thank you again for joining us. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Really on short notice.
Pleasure to be here.
I do hope we answered all the questions in regards to space stations. If you guys are interested in a space station, go to their website. I see you guys have a contact form for that. And I mean, you guys are going to provide answers for those anyway in the Telegram. Go there. It's easier. So thank you for joining. We'll be back next week and Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern for trivia. We're going to have that too. So more community-based live videos. Think about it. That's a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Stuart. I'll be in Telegram. I'll see you in a bit.
Thanks for your time. Speak to you later.
All right, bye, guys.